everyone, I'm Emmy Joy and welcome back to the Shine Joyfully community. So here I am in San Diego, and a lot of you who have been flowing with my journey know that I've been traveling for the last year all over the world to Costa Rica, Bali, all the islands of Hawaii, Portugal, just so much magic that I got to experience. And in this video, I'm feeling inspired to share and talk openly and authentically about my experiences, the ups and the downs, the highs and the lows of traveling, because usually on social media we only see the highlights. We only see the crystal clear blue waters, the most stunning nature landscapes, which is truly awe-inspiring. And that's one of the gifts of traveling, is that you get to see some of the most extraordinary places on earth. You get to experience that in person. So that's one of the gifts of traveling. And you don't usually see the behind the scenes, what it took to get to that place, all of the full spectrum of what it means to travel. And in my case, I was traveling full time. I was traveling for an entire year. So there's also a difference between going on a vacation for like 2 to 3 weeks to travel versus traveling for months at a time. So I'm speaking from an experience of traveling months at a time and what that fully entails. And yeah, just sharing the whole experience, just so we're being more authentic on social media and honest with ourselves, while also sharing the beauty. Because the reason I did this, because the reason I chose to travel is because it was a dream of mine and I got to fulfill it and experience it. And I'm so happy I did. It was truly, wow, such a beautiful dream come true. So yeah, in this video I will share the magic of traveling, as well as some of the behind the scenes for those of you who would love to travel, especially traveling to like exotic places like Costa Rica and Bali and all these places, and yeah, what it was like from my experience. And remember that everyone's experience is so unique, so just receive what you shall. And thank you for being here, and thank you for your time and energy in investing and yesing into this video right now and connecting with me on a heart level. So yay, here we are. Sun is shining, sky's blue, we're on this beautiful field, and life is good. So yeah, what shall I say? What shall I say about traveling? Well, first, I invite you all to tune into your heart and tune into your desires as well. Do you have a desire to travel right now? Are you currently on a traveling journey? Are you currently where you grew up? Like, where are you in the world right now? That's what I love about social media, is we're all over the world and we get to connect from all these different points in the world and share our love, share our wisdom, share our energy with one another. And that is such a gift. And this is why I love this platform so much, because we get to connect in these ways that we don't usually, like 100 years ago, we probably weren't able to at all. Like, this is such a gift that we can connect from all parts of the world and experience the world also through one another. I mean, you're kind of experiencing what I grew through. I'm experiencing what other people grew through what they share on social media as well. So we're all learning from one another, and we're all activating one another and inspiring one another to say yes to our dreams, to live our highest potential, our highest self, and to cherish our life, because this life truly is a gift. As we know, as we can feel, this life is a gift and we are meant to enjoy it. So wow, this is already 4 minutes and I didn't even fully get into all the ups and downs. But you know what? That's what happens when you're in the flow, when you're in nature, and when you are sharing what's present. So feel into your dreams, your desires, and what does it mean for you to travel? Okay, here we go. So for me, the biggest thing I received from my year of traveling is just experiencing such a freedom lifestyle. being able to wake up when I wanted to create the day however I desire to go anywhere in the world without asking anyone for permission. I just got to follow, flow with my own inner compass, inner heart. Time freedom, space freedom, even financial freedom, and location freedom, and lifestyle freedom. Like, I feel like that's one of the main things I received from traveling, is just what is it like to just be free, like not really have to like think about anything except for being in the present moment and enjoying where you are. And of course there is planning as well. There's a lot of planning when it comes to traveling. Like, you gotta plan your trips, you gotta do the plane tickets, you gotta reserve your Airbnbs. There's a lot of that energy as well, for sure. But there's not like you're not meeting deadlines. You're not like, basically your main responsibility is to have fun, which is a great responsibility to have. And that's one of the perks of traveling, is that you are just in the freedom energy, you get to do whatever you want, basically, and you get to enjoy it. And another perk of traveling is that you get to meet new people from all around the world, new languages, new cultures. I mean, you really expand your horizons, and you expand your capacity to appreciate life, to appreciate diversity, to appreciate unique lifestyles, to appreciate unique ways of living as well. So much appreciation, so much diversity, so much expansion, and so much connection as well. Although, one of the downsides of traveling is that because you are not grounded in one space for a long period of time, I think for me the longest time that I was in one place was like 2.5 months, which is a pretty long time when you're traveling. I mean, usually it's like a week, right, if you're going on vacation, but I was in a place for 2.5 months, so I really got to ground in that place. I was in Hawaii. That was really amazing. But still, it's not like you're living there for a year where you're building a community and you're there, like you're grounded. No, it's like you're meeting all these people, but you don't know when you'll see them again, basically. So that's one of the things about traveling, is that you're constantly meeting people, but it's for a temporary amount of time, unless you really wanted to invest more energy into that connection and be like, oh, even though we're on other sides of the world, like, let's see if we can connect again in the future. I mean, that's also possible. So that's the beauty of traveling, I guess you could say, as well, for sure, Z's. And yeah, so the perks. So let's go back to the perks. It's the freedom, the connections, the appreciation, and you get to see such beautiful nature spots as well. Just the most magnificent nature ever. It's so beautiful. And also the downside is that sometimes to get to those places, there's a lot of effort that it took to get to that place, depending on where it is. Like, for instance, there was this beautiful spot in Bali that we went to, like probably one of the most magnificent beaches I've ever seen in my life. But to get there, it was the most challenging hike I've experienced in my entire life. Like, literally downhill, literally uphill, like you're rock climbing and it's super narrow. There's people going up and down. You're like, how am I gonna get through this alive? But we do, because we're awesome like that. But yeah, it's very challenging, and you don't really see that always on social media. You only see like the end result once you actually got there. But what it took to get there is a journey, and I guess that's the beauty of it, right? It's because it's the journey that matters, not just a destination. So getting there made it even more special because we knew how hard it was to get there. And also, it's important to just be cognizant that usually what you see on social media is edited, and also it's at an angle. Like, for instance, like you could see a beautiful nature landscape on one side, but on the other side there could be like trash or something, but you don't want the trash to be in the photo, right? You want the beauty to be in the photo. So just like being aware of that, because from my experience, I did notice there was quite a bit of trash when you're traveling, but we don't really like to showcase that part, of course, because we want to showcase the beauty, and that's totally okay. Of course, we want to showcase the beauty of nature, and when we do see trash, it's like a reminder for us to be those environmental stewards and to take care of the earth, because it really does impact the way we feel when we see how the earth is being treated. Like, no, we're not. So yeah. And also, let's see here. Okay, so another downside of traveling, especially if you're going to the tropics, is that there are a lot of bugs. There's lots of mosquitoes, and not only are these mosquitoes outside, in my experience, they actually go into your room. So for me, like, when I was in Hawaii, my room had so many bugs inside of it. And also when I was in Costa Rica, I had literal bugs in my room. In Bali, I would get all these mosquito bites while I'm sleeping. So you don't usually see on social media, you don't really see the bugs on social media, but that's kind of the reality of the tropics. So just wanted to let you all know that is something I experienced. It's not fun at all, and I know a lot of people who do experience this. Some people are really lucky and they don't. Even when you have mosquito spray on, like which I did, they still do come. But there are ways. It definitely decreases the amount for sure. And also in Costa Rica, I had this like big mosquito net, which was nice, but they would still come. They just wouldn't like come inside the net, but they would still be on the net. So it was just an experience, but that's also part of the journey of traveling. Also in the tropics, the weather, it does rain like in the middle of the day, so the weather is very unpredictable. I'm really grateful here in San Diego. It's basically constantly sunny. Like, you can just expect sunshine all year round, which provides that stability. And that's one of the reasons I love living at home, is because it feels so stable and so secure. It's that root chakra. When you're traveling, there isn't too much stability, not at all. It's full of unknowns. It's full of unpredictability, even for flights, like flights being delayed, flights even being missed, or like a whole bunch of things can happen with the flights, and then with the Airbnbs, and then with the transportation. Just so many things going on when you're traveling, and also you're constantly like living out of a backpack as well. So that's something to consider as well. It's like you're basically nomadic. And part of living in a home, which feels really good, is that stability. Like, you get to unpack and know that you get to unpack for a while, and you get to have a whole bunch of stuff. When you're traveling, like, you're basically, at least in my experience, a minimalist, because you don't want to pack too many bags when you're traveling, because that's a lot to carry. So you just want to pack your essentials, and you're basically living a minimalistic lifestyle. But the good thing is, especially if you go to the tropics, it is very humid and hot, so you can live in a bikini. And that's actually one of the pros of traveling, at least from someone like me who loves the mermaid lifestyle. I was basically living in a bikini the whole time. Like, you can wear minimum amount of clothes and you can also wear like all your extravagant clothes as well. Like, I remember I had no problem wearing my gold outfit like on the street. Like, it's just how it is when you're in the tropics. Everyone's just completely in their unique expression. And yeah, and for me, I was like living in conscious communities too. So I was like living in places that like are very spiritual, very conscious. So like basically everyone around me was also wearing very similar kind of like just loose fitting dresses or crop tops, things like that, just for the sunny sunshine. And yeah, so what was I saying earlier? I was saying that the nice thing about being at home is that root chakra energy. You're stable, so you're secure. Also, when traveling, your valuables, your passport, you always need to think about your passport. Like, for me, as you all know, I had such an unpleasant experience with that, losing my passport and everything. And it was hard because I was at a festival, so like, do I put my passport in the tent, or do I put my passport in my fanny pack, which I did. Like, it was a whole shabeel, but we got through it, thank goodness. But that's just something to consider when you're traveling. It's like, it's not like you have a home to put all your like valuables in. They're with you all the time, so you just need to like constantly keep an eye out for them. So like, even when you're yeah, so if you're at the beach and you don't have a safe spot to put your valuables in, like you don't have, like maybe you checked out of your Airbnb or something, or whatever the case may be, just make sure that you're with people. And this is actually something that I recommend when you're traveling, is to either be in a conscious community or to be traveling with someone. Like if you want to solo travel, go for it if that's like a true desire you have and you want to experience that independence, but just know that it does come with a few consequences, because like if something does happen, if you're in a difficult situation, it's really supportive when there's someone with you to help you. Like for me, when I didn't have my phone, I didn't have literally anything, it's like luckily I was in the campground, the festival campground, so I was able to ask for support there. There will always be support no matter what situation you're in. It's just nice when you know someone. Like it was really helpful because I knew an angel over there and she like really helped me, and I'm just eternally grateful for that. So thank you. So it's really helpful when you're traveling and you know people, and that's also the perk of traveling, is you get to meet new people and you get to connect with people. So it's just the power of connections. Like you really realize how valuable connection is, especially when you're in a tough situation. You're like, oh my gosh, who do I call? And for me, I called my mom, even though she was on the other side of the world. So that's another thing to consider when you're traveling. Like how do your decisions impact your loved ones, the people closest to you, your family, and making sure you prioritize your family connections as well. It's so important to call, to text your family as often as you can when you're traveling, because they are worried for you. They do want to make sure you're safe. I mean, that's the role of a parent, to protect you, to love you unconditionally. And yeah, so for me, it's really important to have good familial relationships, and you'll recognize that, especially when things get hard. It's like the people you rely on will most likely be your family, because they're the ones that are there for you. So it's important to have a good connection with them and a reciprocal connection with them. So it's not like they're there for you when things get hard, but you're not there for them when things get hard, So you want to have that reciprocal connection, and that comes with fostering a relationship, with checking in, and then with visiting them. Like I definitely did visit my family throughout the year as well, which was really beautiful. So it's not like I was gone for an entire year. Every 2 months I made sure to go back to San Diego for a week or two to be with my family as well. So I feel like that's really important for when you're traveling, and because your family will be there for you. And right now they're there for me, especially now that I'm back home in San Diego. It feels really good to be supported by my family, and it just feels so good, and I'm so blessed and so grateful for it. So definitely encouraged to have a good relationship with your family, especially when you're making these big decisions like traveling around the world, where there's so much unknown and you're just allowing your wings to fly. Doesn't it feel even better when you can fly knowing that you'll be supported throughout the journey? So feel the support all around you. That is a big thing when you're traveling, because you're going to a foreign country that has another language, another currency even. Oh yeah, that's one of the things to consider when traveling. It's like a whole new currency. So the ATM machines, like there is a huge transaction fee. In Bali, huge transaction fee. You feel like you're going to a country like everything is so inexpensive, amazing, and it is. But then you realize, well, every time I need to get money, it's like a big transaction fee, and so just like have that to consider as well. And of course have plenty of extra financial resources, a surplus of it, in case things like in my case with the passport, emergency passport not going through, so I needed to get a visa passport on the spot, which cost a few $100s. So just having that extra support in the form of financial resources is also really important. And yeah, so let's see, what else? Let me think about it for a second. Okay, so another thing about traveling is the toilets. So it depends on where you are. This is different for everyone, but for me, I was living in conscious communities, I was living in the tropics, so you basically either nature becomes your toilet essentially, which is also like a beautiful way to connect with nature, of course, or you're using compost toilets. Like, you just appreciate flushable toilets even more, basically. And I'm really grateful for all these, I mean, I'm really grateful for compostable toilets as well, because it's a way to help the environment, and I feel like that's part of the sustainability initiative. So all here for it. It's just something to adapt to, and I feel like that's one of the perks of traveling, is that you become so adaptable. You become so resilient, so adaptable. It's amazing how much you can grow through traveling. And what else? The showers as well. The showers. In Costa Rica, I probably only took, actually though, in like my 2.5 months I was in Costa Rica, I only took one hot shower. Every other shower I've taken there was like just normal temperature. It wasn't cold, it wasn't hot, it was just mild basically. Which is okay because the weather is pretty warm, so it makes up for it, which is good. But still, it's like another thing to really be grateful for, those hot showers. Very, very grateful for them. And also another thing is, in these places like Hawaii, Costa Rica, Bali, we have outdoor showers, and that's also really beautiful. It's like that, I feel like that's one of the main perks of traveling, is just your connection with nature is exponential. Like, you are basically living in nature. In my experience, I was living in nature. I would get outside and all I see are trees around me, rainforests, like it's beautiful, rainbows even. You're living in nature, so you slow down, which is a perk of traveling. And a downside is the time zone difference. There's a huge time zone difference, so just to be conscious of that. And also, what else is there? Oh yeah, Wi-Fi, internet. That is a downside of traveling. The Wi-Fi connection is so unpredictable. Like when I was in Bali, I would have to pray for the Wi-Fi to work so I can send a message. So the Wi-Fi, and also in Costa Rica, I had no Wi-Fi except for one little location. Like, it was called the Internest, which is amazing. But yeah, so that's another thing about traveling, is that depending on where you are, the Wi-Fi connection can be quite unreliable. So maybe an option is to get like a SIM card with internet or something. Those are all things to keep in mind. There's a lot of things you need to consider before you travel, like visas, also health insurance too. Like, that's another thing about just health and everything. Like, if you get it, luckily I never got an injury, so I never got to experience this firsthand, but if you do, that can be a whole process as well. And it's just nice for me, like, living right now in San Diego, because I have my rights here as well, and I can talk to everyone in English. It's really nice. But I also love all the other countries as well, because you get to see another lifestyle, you get to meet new people. There are so many pros and cons to traveling, and I only shared a few. I'm really grateful for the experiences I had. Also, when I was living in these conscious communities, I was always going to ecstatic dance and song circles. There was so much vegan food. It felt like a portal. It felt like a portal of heaven on earth, and I really got to experience that. Just being so one with nature, so immersed in spirit, and just feeling so free and having so much fun. So I am really grateful that I got to travel. It was a beautiful experience. Despite everything, I really, really did enjoy it. And it was exactly what I needed in that point of my journey, exactly what I desired, and exactly what I manifested. And I'm really grateful I did. And now here in San Diego, I'm really grateful for this next chapter of my life, where I do get to ground more, and I do get to build community here in San Diego as well. And I do get a reliable source of income here as well, which is really nice. And I do get support from my family here, and I live right next to the beach basically here, so I still get all the access to nature and the sunshine, and a beautiful room that I grew up in that I love, and that just feels so calming for my nervous system as well. Like, honestly, there's so many perks. Wherever you are in the world, appreciate where you are. Truly appreciate where you are, and know that it is a gift. It is a gift to be in the exact point of the journey that you're in right now, and that you're exactly where you're meant to be right now, and you are being guided. And if you're being called to travel, listen to that call, because you are going to grow so much through that experience. And you're going to love it. You're going to love it. You're going to appreciate life even more. You're going to see what a gift it is to be alive. You're going to connect with people all around the world. and you're gonna have a good time because you're gonna make it awesome, because that's who you are, and you see the light in life and you see the beauty of life. So yay! And if you're at home right now, enjoy that as well, because there's so much beauty in that as well. You are rooted, you are grounded, you are supported, you are guided in all of the ways. So I just felt inspired to share a little bit more about my experience of traveling, the ups and the downs, just to bring in the full spectrum energy, the authentic energy, and to be a source of guidance for you if you do want to connect with me personally as well. I am open to connecting. I am open to sharing more. This is the power of social media, is that we get to connect. And I met a lot of people. Another synchronicity is through social media, I met my travel buddies as well. I mean, isn't that amazing? So you can really meet people who you will one day travel with on this platform. So truly make the most of it. Share your authentic expression. Share what's in your heart. And know that you are so loved and protected, and your journey is flowing so beautifully. So I love you all. I hope this video served you today. I know it's a very long one, but I hope if you decided to tune in to this point so far, I'm sending you so much love, and thank you for being here. Thank you for your presence, and I'm excited to flow along your journey as well and see how it all unfolds for you, see how we can relate, and see how we can grow together. So sending you all so much love and joy and sunshine energy. Love you so much, and have a beautiful, blessed rest of your day. Yay!